Hello and welcome to 3D Nato. My name is Nato, and today's video will be another precision modeling tutorial in Blender and FreeCAD. First I'll show you how to make it in Blender and then in FreeCAD. We're going to use this very basic TechDraw that I found online. It is the 3D exercise 247 by studycadcam.com. On the top sketch, I can see that we have a 20mm radius arc with a 10mm diameter hole in the center. And from the arc to the end, we have two more distances, 10mm to reach the front mesh and another 10mm from the mesh thickness. The front sketch is almost identical. Here the 10mm circle is offset by 5mm from the arc center point. With that in mind, let's make it. Blender. Before we start, let's set the scene for precision modeling. Press A to select all objects in the scene and X to delete. On Scene, go to Units and set length to millimeters. On Viewport Shading, enable Cavity and set Type to both. On Viewport Overlays, enable Face Orientation. And as I'm going to start with the top sketch, press numpad 7 to go to the top view. For the top sketch, we're going to need two circles, one with a 20mm radius and one with a 10mm diameter. To create a mesh circle, press Shift+A to add, go to Mesh and select Circle. Now we need to define the resolution and the size of this circle. Expand the Add Circle menu, set vertices to 64 and the radius to 20mm. To zoom on a circle, press numpad dot. As these two circles share the same position, let's add the second one. Press Shift+A, create a mesh circle and set the radius to 5mm. Now let's join them into a single mesh. Shift-select the 20mm radius circle and press Ctrl+J to join them. Let's move it into place. But as I want the origin point to remain at 0 on all axes, let's do this in Edit mode. Press Tab to go to Edit mode. On the TechDraw, we can see that the distance from this circle to the end is 20mm. A fast way to do this is to press G to grab, Y to lock the axis, type -20 and enter to confirm. From this 40mm circle, we're going to need only the outside semicircle. To make it, let's select the top half and delete it. What I like to do is to select this vertex here and press Ctrl++ 15 times to select more. Now press X to delete and select vertices. To finish the sketch, let's extrude these vertices back to the center. As we have moved these circles -20mm on the Y-axis, let's move them back by 20mm. Select these two vertices, press E to extrude, Y to lock the axis, type 20 and enter to confirm. Now let's create an edge between these vertices and subdivide it once to create the faces. With these two vertices selected, press F to create a new edge, right mouse and select Subdivide. As this is a hard surface object, I'll create only two faces here to fill this mesh. Just select the right half and press F to create a new face. Then repeat the same steps to create the left face. The top sketch is complete. For the front sketch, I'm going to duplicate the top one, rotate it along the x-axis and offset the 10mm circle by 5mm. But before that, let's set the transform pivot point to 3D cursor. Now press A to select all, Shift+D to duplicate, R to rotate, X to lock the axis, type -90 and enter to confirm. After that, we need to remove some duplicate vertices. To do this, press A to select all, M to merge, and select by distance. Notice that the faces from the top sketch are red, meaning it has a different orientation. This will cause a problem when we add the modifier to extrude this mesh. To fix this, press A to select all, Shift+N to recalculate normals, and check this inside checkbox here. Now let's offset the front sketch hole by 5mm. Select the circle, press G to grab, Z to lock the axis, type 5 and enter to confirm. The sketch is complete. Now we just need to add a solidify modifier to finish this mesh. Press Tab to exit Edit mode and go to Modifiers. Click here to add modifier, go to Generate and add a solidify modifier. Set thickness to 10mm, offset to 1 and check this even thickness checkbox here. For less, right mouse and select Shade Auto Smooth. The object is complete. Now let's see how to make this in FreeCAD. FreeCAD. To start, let's create a new empty file. On the Tasks panel, click here to create a new body and here to create a new sketch. On the 3D viewport, we now have 3 planes. The XY plane represents the top view, the XZ the front view, and the YZ the side view. Let's select the XY plane to create the sketch on the top view. To start our sketch, select the Create Polyline tool. Click anywhere to create the first point and drag the mouse cursor to the right to create a line. Notice that sometimes constraint icon appears while creating the polyline, but I'm going to avoid these automatic constraints to show how to add them later. Now click here to create the first horizontal line and here to create a vertical line. Now we need an arc here, and we can create it with the Polyline tool. Press M 3 times to change the polyline behavior to arc, and click here to create an arc. For last, click here next to the first point to create the last vertical line. Now let's add some constraints. We have 3 in this sketch. A coincident constraint here, and these 2 tangent constraints. Select these 2 points here and press C to constrain coincident. Select this top line and press H to constrain horizontal. Select these left and right lines and press V to constrain vertical. Now select these 2 points, this middle point here, and press S to constrain symmetric. Now let's set these lines' dimensions. Press D to select the Dimensions tool, click on the top line to select it, and click again to insert length. Set it to 40 mm and hit Enter to confirm. Now repeat this step on any of the vertical lines, and set the length to 20 mm. The last thing we need here is the 10 mm diameter circle. Select the Create Circle by Center tool and place it on top of the arc center point. When a constraint coincident icon appears, click and drag to create the circle. Now type 10 and hit Enter to confirm. Notice that after that, all lines will turn green, meaning the sketch is fully constrained. The top sketch is complete, so click here on Close to exit. Now we need to extrude it by 10 mm. To do this, select Pad, make sure the length is set to 10 mm, and hit Enter to confirm. Now let's create the front sketch. As the top sketch is aligned with the y-axis, we could just create a new sketch and select the XZ plane. But just to demonstrate, an easier way is to select this face and click here to create a new sketch. This way we can snap the sketch to any face. Another tool to help us create the front sketch is the Create External Geometry tool. This tool projects edges and vertices belonging to objects outside the sketch onto the sketch plane. Similar to construction geometry, external geometry is not visible outside the sketch, and is intended to help define constraints and other geometry inside the sketch itself. To add it, select the Create External Geometry tool and click on these top and bottom lines here. Now we can start creating the front sketch. Select the Create Polyline tool and place it on top of this bottom left external geometry point. When a constraint coincident icon appears, click to create the starting point. Create the first vertical line, press M 3 times to create an arc, create another vertical line, and close the shape. Select this right line and press V to constrain vertical. Now these 2 points here, and press C to constrain coincident. Select the Create Circle by Center tool and place it on top of the Z-axis line. When the axis line turns blue and a constraint point on object icon appears, click and drag to create the circle. Now type 10 and hit Enter to confirm. Now let's set the dimensions. Press D to select the Dimensions tool, click on any vertical line to select it, and click again to insert length. Set the length to 20 mm and hit Enter to confirm. Now select this top external geometry line, the 10 mm circle center point, and set the length to 15 mm. The front sketch is complete, so click here on Close to exit. Now we need to extrude it by 10 mm. Select Pad, make sure the length is set to 10 mm, check this reverse checkbox here, and hit Enter to confirm. The object is complete. And that is how I create the same object in Blender and FreeCAD. If you're still here, it means you are liking the content of this channel. I really want to thank you for spending your time with me learning some basic Blender. I hope you have enjoyed as much as I have making it. So please, consider subscribe to the channel, like the video, share it, and leave a comment. Thanks a lot for watching, and see you on the next one. Bye bye.